In this lesson of how light moves, we will concentrate on the transmission, the reflection, and the absorption of light. First, we have the transmission of light, where light passes through a material. This happens whenever sunlight passes through a window. Next, we have reflection, and this is when light bounces off of a material, just like when we see a reflection in the mirror or a reflection in a pool of water. Here we have an example of how light will reflect and bounce off of a flat surface. On the left side, we have the light coming in, striking the flat surface, and then reflecting off of it. To the right, the dotted line going perpendicular to the flat surface and to where the light is striking is called the normal line. The light beam from the left coming in is going to create an angle from the light beam to the normal line called the angle of incidence. When it reflects off of it, the light beam will create an angle from the light beam to the normal line, creating the angle of reflection. Notice that both angles are equal. Here's another example of the angle of incidence with some waves coming in, bouncing off a flat surface, and we get the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection. In this image, it says they call it the angle of reflectance. Another type of reflection is called diffuse reflection, and this is when light reflects but at different angles, and it's due to the fact that the surface is not flat, it is a rough surface, and this makes the reflection of the light scattered. So the beam comes down, the light beam comes down, and it reflects in a scattered manner because the surface is rough and doesn't bounce in a clean reflection. On the left side, you can see the effects of that, where we have regular glass, where some light is reflected back, some light passes through, but it's a flat surface, so everything looks very clear. On the left side, we have frosted glass, where the surface is rough and the light is scattered. The lesson has a demonstration of that, and let me show you that interactive right now. It's fairly easy to understand what happens to a light ray when it reflects off of a flat surface. This demonstration shows what happens to a light ray when it hits a rough surface. So you see at the bottom here a jagged rough surface and a ball that will drop to represent a ray of light. And you can see that the ball is going to bounce off in all different directions. And this is just like what happens with a light ray. So when the light rays strike a rough surface, the ball is going to bounce in all different directions, and those light rays are going to be scattered. This is an example of diffuse reflection. Finally, we have the idea of absorption, and this is when light is absorbed by a material. On the left, there's an image of an eye seeing a green leaf. And to explain this, we have all the colors of the rainbow that's within white light. All of these colors are absorbed by the green leaf. The only color, the only wavelength of color that bounces off and is reflected is the green. So all of the other colors are absorbed, but the green reflects, it's detected by our eye, and we see that leaf as being green. This is how we see color. On the right side, we have 3 billiard balls, and on the left, the black ball is where all of the colors are absorbed. And so if nothing is reflecting back to us, we don't see any color at all. And so we see black, which is actually a lack of color because all of the other colors are absorbed by the object. In the middle, we have the red ball, and the only color that is reflected is the red, so we see that color. All of the other colors are absorbed. And then on the right, we have a white ball, and in the white ball, all the colors are reflected. And because all of the colors are reflected in white light, we see the color white. And then finally, it's important to understand that nothing, just about nothing, is completely transmitted and completely reflected or completely absorbed. There's always a little bit of all three. All right. So in this case, for the green leaf, on the left, you see all the colors of the light coming in from left to right. Some of it is transmitted, some of the light passes through, and then some of the light is reflected back. So we have an example here of not only absorption, but also transmission and also reflection. All right, thanks for watching.